I do have a degree in photography, but you don't have to. Like I would wager to say most professional photographers don't have a degree in it, but it really is. It's about like putting in the hours, regardless of if you paid for those hours or not.
Hey out there, thank you so much for joining us this week on Business Gold, a business leader's journey. This week, we've got Mia Lee Weber of Mia Lee Photography. She does photography here in Sumter, and she's here to tell us all about her business journey. Let's turn it over to Jen.
Hello, welcome back to Business Gold, a business leader's journey. Thank you for coming and being with us today. I'm super excited that we have a local photographer with us, and I have a lot of questions about how this young lady has built such an amazing business in such a short time. I hope you will all help me welcome Mia Lee from Mia Lee Photography.
Hello.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. So a little bit about you. Share with us.
Well, I am a portrait photographer, primarily pets, portraits, personal branding, really whatever you need me to do. I have my Bachelor's of Fine Arts in Photography from the Savannah College of Art and Design, which I feel like is a nice little one-up.
Absolutely, that's amazing.
Town. I am married as of last October to a lovely man named Richie. Got 3 pets, and that's pretty much the lowdown.
And I just want to say, so we're friends on Facebook, so I am able to see your pictures. And if you think about the quintessential modern bride, that's what you were. You
thanks.
were absolutely stunning.
I felt very chic.
That's a good way to put it. And see, everybody knows I'm in the wedding industry, so of course, everybody that puts up a wedding picture,
You're like
I'm all into
scrolling.
it. Yes. But you guys looked amazing, and I loved when I was talking to you before the wedding. You were talking about the color of Richie's suit was to match his eyes. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I
planned
love
that
it.
whole wedding around the idea that Richie could wear a green suit.
That's great.
It was the goal from day one.
I love it. And the way I met you was through Leadership Sumter, which was a fun 6-month ride. It was a great program that we were in. What was your biggest takeaway from that whole experience?
I think, honestly, the best part about it was like the networking opportunity.
I agree, totally.
I enjoyed, we had a couple really good speakers. We had a nice tour of downtown with Sammy Way, the Sumter historian, which was really neat.
That was one of my favorite. That was like a highlight, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's like a walking museum.
Yes.
But yeah, I think the networking was probably the best part. I met a lot of really cool people during that, and like solid business connections and just friendship that I wouldn't have had otherwise.
Yeah,
so
friendships that I think will last a very long time.
Yeah, absolutely. And even like connections with people like coworkers of my husband that I had met in passing, but now I'm like very good friends with. So it was like
Shelby.
Yeah, Shelby, Tim, who's the sports guy there. So like it was a good time. I'm glad we did it.
I totally agree. All right, let's dig into photography.
Yeah.
I absolutely love looking at your pet photography because everybody knows I'm an animal lover.
A pet lady.
Yes, I am a pet lady. So what is your favorite pet to shoot?
I guess if I could only do one forever, it'd probably be dogs.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, there's not one that I've photographed and I've thought never want to do that again. Like it's just.
You've not done just like cats and dogs. I've seen iguanas and
I've cats, dogs, lizards of all varieties, snakes, bunnies, hamsters, guinea pigs.
Yes.
I would say I really, really want to photograph a bird. I've never done any birds, which is very surprising to me. You'd think that would have happened by now.
Okay.
And ferrets. I think ferrets are really cute, and I would really like to do a ferret. So if you know anyone who has a ferret, please. I've been like hanging around in PetSmart just waiting for someone to buy a ferret.
Okay, we're going to be on the hunt for a ferret for you, okay?
Yeah, I would love
and I
that.
have a parakeet named Happy, so if you want to come take some promotional pics, come on, we'll do it.
Yes, I would love that.
Happy is 5 years old this year. I bought Happy the day of my wedding anniversary. It was a present for me. So that's why her name is Happy. So
what color is she?
She's like the turquoise and the white.
Yes.
Yeah, she's real pretty.
Yeah, it'll happen. We'll do it.
And my goats, don't forget. My babies, my goats. Come and take as many as you want. That would be so much fun. Yeah, for sure. So you do pets, and tell us what else you do.
Family photography. So I do families as groups, but really my favorite, and I think like the niche that I am most successful with is just solo child portraits. So I do, for those who don't know, studio portraits on really bright colored backdrops.
Yes. That's like your thing.
That's my thing. Yeah,
yes.
that's what I am known as. And so I try my best to get like really authentic expressions out of kids. I have them jump up and down and dance around and do all kinds of fun stuff. So that is definitely like when I look through my portfolio of work and I see the stuff that, aside from the pets, because the pets is like
near and dear to your heart.
Yeah. The pictures that I am most proud of, it's always like a little girl spinning around in her favorite dress.
I love it.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
So family photography, pets, and then I also do personal branding. So headshots for realtors and nurses and doctors and stuff
everybody
like that.
in between.
Everybody in between. Yeah.
That's pretty cool because us being a business podcast, we can definitely have people reach out to you.
Yeah.
And they can find, I know they can find you on Facebook, website.
Yeah, my website is mialeephoto.com, MIALEE photo.com, and then my Instagram is pet and portrait.
And you know what? I don't think I've checked out your Instagram. I need to go there because I can
good.
only imagine. You don't have to tell me it's good. I know it's going to be good. I'm going to check it out myself.
Yeah.
And we'll put all of those links in the bottom too, so everybody can click on those and go find you.
Sweet.
Yes. Okay. So Sumter, you're here. It's like, where is your favorite place in Sumter to shoot?
Ooh,
Because there's some cool places surrounding in Sumter.
Absolutely. So funny enough, no police watch this, but there are just like random fields throughout town that I keep my eye on in different seasons to watch like when certain wildflowers are blooming.
Right.
And those are really some of my favorite spots to check out, like on, is it Patriot Highway or something? In between.
Okay.
Like, I can't think of what they're, on the way out to the base.
Okay.
Where Willie Sue's is, that highway.
Yes.
There's a couple different spots that have really good flowers there. And then, of course, people are very used to taking pictures downtown. I really like to find spots downtown that are not like, this was obviously taken in downtown
in this
Sumter.
place. Right.
But there are some really good, like, I'm always looking for textures to make
I love that.
photos interesting. So I look, there's like 7 different brick walls that I use downtown, and then the roof of the Toomey parking garage.
Wow.
It's a really good view of the clock tower and the skyline.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Very cool. So if anybody
Inside
sees a
scoop.
woman with a camera in
Don't
those
be alarmed.
spots, they're going to know it's you.
Yep.
Police, look away.
Yeah,
It's
police.
you're not trying to
I'm
trespass.
not trespassing. I'm trespassing for a good reason.
There you go.
No one has
There you
ever
go.
complained, so I think I'm in the clear.
There you go. So, Mia, let me tell you what really I'm so impressed about you. Here's the thing. We met in this class, and I was like, she's just like this quiet little meek girl, but you're not. You are a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
And I love that you have like come up and out like you're on fire in the community.
Thank you.
You won Best of Sumter.
I did win Best of Sumter. That was crazy.
I mean,
was like,
you had been in business how long?
I opened in March of 2020. Love that for me.
Yes.
That's when that happened.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, really, like, it was less, it might have been less than 2 years at that point from when I was voted to when I opened the business. So I was just really shocked and just beyond grateful that people, I mean, that many people knew about me at all.
Exactly.
And let alone.
And loved your portraits.
Yeah. And that, like, I heard from a couple different people that I had never met before. Like, I didn't know who you were until I saw you on that list, and something about you just made me think that I should vote for you every day. And I was like,
Well, if people look at your photography, they can tell what a true happy force you are. Yeah. Like, your pictures are happy.
I'm so glad to hear you say that. That's one of the goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some more of your goals? I love it. So you've reached one of them. If you've reached that one, you had to make some more. What's some more goals you got?
Yeah. Well, just personally, like as an artist and with what I make, I want all of my pictures to be happy, creative, fun, happy, bright, colorful.
The world needs that right now.
Exactly. To represent something, it's kind of goofy, but like childlike wonder almost, because there's like this general aesthetic that's everywhere right now. It's all very gray
and clean.
Yeah. And like what I'm doing is also very clean, but in a different way.
True.
Like when I started as a pet photographer specifically, I decided to pursue it as a career because it was something that I felt like people needed to see. It was something that like anytime I posted that work or I shared it with friends, with family, with classmates, whatever, like huge smiles. Like people got so excited to see that.
Yes. And the world needed it, especially when you were starting in 2020. People needed
People
that.
need a picture of a bunny. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes.
Yeah. When you're stuck in a house looking at the same four walls and the same couple of faces, I mean, a bunny rabbit out of the blue. Hello.
Yeah, on a bright, like on a sunshiny yellow backdrop, like nothing better. Nothing better to brighten your day than a picture of a cat or something. So.
Well, you are definitely hitting that goal, I can tell you. And I really hope our listeners go and seriously look at your work. And I know they will pull that same feeling out of it. There's no other feeling you can get from it.
Oh.
Do you have like a mentor that led you down this path? Or how did you pick photography and how did you know that was the passion?
So we'll start with how did I pick photography?
Okay.
I don't want to be that person who's like, photography picked me. But like, there are pictures that I took from when I was in 4th grade. Like I had like my little point and shoot 35 millimeter camera.
Yeah.
Like I was taking pictures like from day one.
I love it.
And I also grew up in like the MySpace era. So I definitely have like way more pictures of myself when I was 13 than I should. And all of my friends. And like I was always like, I just constantly had a camera no matter what, always taking pictures of my friends, taking pictures of whatever we were doing. Exactly. And so it's fun, a couple different things that I thought about doing as a career in my life. 2 of them very much artistic, the other one animal related. It was either going to be photography, interior design, or zoology.
And you have encompassed all of
Boom,
those.
there you go.
In one career. Look
I did
at
the
you.
thing.
You did 3 things.
So yeah, I had a really great mentor in high school. He was my graphics teacher, my graphic design teacher. It was called Graphic Communications. GraphCom was the class. Freddie Flake is his name. That was up in New Jersey, so it's nobody anyone knows here. But really cool guy. Just like absolutely pushed me to keep doing better and keep pursuing what made me happy.
Right. Which is what everybody should do.
Yeah, exactly. And he, like, our personalities just clicked really well. He was very like lighthearted and goofy, but at the same time, like goal oriented and kept me focused and everything. And after I finished that course, my school didn't offer a photography course, so I designed an independent study where he was my mentor for that. So I would have my last block of the day we had like A days and B days. But my last block of the day, 3 days a week, I would sit in his class and plan out photography projects that I was going to do. There was a dark room in there, so I was able to shoot and develop film, and that really was what sort of like
Put you in that
off
path.
on the path to go to art school and yada yada. And then once I got to college, I had a good few professors that were really inspiring to me, that was sort of on the similar vein as he was. And since then, it's just been looking at a lot of like my peers' work, a lot of people that I went to school with, graduated with, or just other professionals in the industry that we're not necessarily like communicating back and forth, like texting or talking on the phone, but it's stuff I can get inspiration from directly.
Right.
And then I also have a business coach right now. His name's Kyle Goldie. He's in
Nice.
the rainy place on the West Coast. What is that city called? Seattle.
There we go.
Yeah, he's in Seattle.
Okay. That is really cool. So how does that work when you have a business coach that's that far away? How does that work? Is it a lot of like Zoom calls, or how is that work?
Basically. So his program is, we've got a couple one-on-one calls, but primarily he's designed this whole coaching program kind of like a class, like a course to go through. checklist, read all of his material, and make all of the changes that you see fit in your business.
Okay.
You can do Zoom calls with him where he'll check in with me, excuse me, make sure that I'm on the right track, answer any questions that I have. And then
That's
we've
amazing.
also got these giant group Zoom calls that are twice a week where we will talk about a maternity photographer in Iowa, and we'll look at she'll ask questions of what we all think of what she's got going on her website. And
wow.
it's like hard conversations about like, tell me why you wouldn't book me for this price point. Not to, like, don't just feed me with the compliments. Let me know what I'm doing wrong,
Right
so
and
that
wrong.
I can
So I can
fix the
change it.
problems, which has been
Neat.
very helpful. Very
That
helpful
is
to
a
me.
very cool concept. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. You have really kind of taken Sumter by storm. I mentioned that. So tell us, like, what was your, not, I mean, you don't have to share your whole business plan. I mean, it's not like we're trying to steal your business plan, but like what actions,
Pull out the binder.
what actions did you take to get you where you're at right now? You worked hard, Mia. I know you worked hard.
Yeah, I work real hard
There
every day.
are a lot of photographers out there.
Yeah.
A lot of photographers, and you got to the top really quick.
Yeah, so when I got here, I started with joining the Chamber of Commerce, which I think was a really good choice for me. I did their fuel program, which is for people who are interested in starting small businesses or who have already started a small business and they just need a little bit of extra information. So they really went over everything about accounting and all the explanation of the legalese that you don't understand when you're first starting a business, and I still don't really understand.
That's why we get an accountant
Exactly.
and an attorney for all of our businesses.
So they talked all about that, some marketing stuff, and basically it just sort of got me organized to put everything in order, got my LLC done. I got, insured and all of the stuff that you need to have as a small business. But in terms of the work that I put in to become like recognized, I think I did a lot of Instagramming.
People love Instagram right now.
Yeah, like when I first moved here, I had I don't have a crazy following on Instagram by any means, but I had 400 Instagram followers, and I am one away from 1,600 right now.
Okay, listeners, someone has to go click that button because we got to get you to that number, okay?
I would love that 1,600th person. But yeah, so I felt a little bit weird about it, but I thought it was a pretty good strategy. I would just go through, I would consider my ideal client, which if we're talking about business, that's a very important part of strategizing and marketing.
It is.
It's figuring out not just a broad idea, you need to make an imaginary person. Her name is Tiffany. She is 27. She
Yes.
does this, and this.
This is what she looks like. This is what she wears. This is
Yeah.
her style. It is a very detailed process, and that takes a while to actually figure that out.
Figure exactly who the type of person is that you're marketing to. And I would scroll through, I would think about the types of businesses or the types of Instagram accounts that those people would be following within our local area.
Yes.
So I would then go to those pages. So I would say my ideal client is like me, so they might be a plant person. Maybe they're following Plant Haven.
Yes.
A local plant shop here in Sumter. So I'll go through everyone who follows Plant Haven, and I'll look at their little profile picture, and I'll say, is there a dog in that picture? If there's a dog in that picture, I'm following that person.
Oh, wow.
If there is a small child in that picture, I'm following that person. Stuff like that. And through whoever follows Wilson Hall School on Instagram, who follows pet groomers, who follows dog walkers, that type of stuff.
Wow.
And I would follow them, and they would follow me back.
And that is why you are a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
What a fantastic idea. And I'm so glad you shared that with our followers because that is a stepping out of the box idea.
Yeah, it's more than just hashtagging.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people, if you're just looking to get started and you want eyes on your work, there, especially in a place like Sumter where there's not a ton of younger people. Like,
it's a different
I'm kind of
generation here.
I'm kind of in the minority of people who are in their mid-20s, late 20s here. So I'm thinking about who's using Instagram that I want to see my work. They might not be checking hashtags, you know? So, like, if I can go in and just directly hit them with a follow, they'll get the notification that I followed them. And they go, who is that?
Who is that? And they'll look at
follow
your,
me
and
back.
then they'll see your amazing pictures of your puppy dogs and your bunny rabbits, and they're going to fall in love. Or that little girl twirling around in the dress, and they're going to fall in love.
They're like, my granddaughter I want this for my wall.
Yes, yes.
So,
you are a smart lady.
And there's also all of the in-person networking and stuff, too. There's, like, going to the Iris Festival and handing out business cards, and going to the dog park and handing out business cards, and trying not to feel weird and salesy about it, and just being a genuine person and saying, like, hey, this is what I do if it's something that you're interested in, and I would love to do it with you.
Right.
If not, we can hang out.
I love it.
You know?
Yeah. Do you take your dog with you to the dog park?
Yeah, always.
Okay, tell us what kind of dogs you have and what their names are.
I just have one. I have one dog, 2 cats.
Okay.
But my dog's an Australian Shepherd. Her name is Charlie Ann. She is an angel. She will be 6 in October.
Oh, she's not a baby anymore.
Yeah.
And then what are your kitties' names?
I have a tabby cat named Joni, and she is 4. And I have a long-haired hellion of a calico cat named Goose, and she's like 2, I think. I got her from Windy Ridge.
Okay, well,
Windy Ridge
she's
Rescue.
being ridiculous because she's a baby still. She's in the terrible twos.
She's unhinged.
I have a new puppy like that. Pearl, she's unhinged as well. She has 2 speeds, wide open and flat on her back with her legs up in the air asleep. So
That's the way it goes.
Yes, it is. They're just being toddlers. So I'm sure if we go to your Instagram, there's pictures of all 3 of them on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
And also on my website, there's on my About page, there, if you scroll down to the bottom, I've got a little collage full of like stuff about my life. And there's pictures of each one of them.
Nice.
We're going to take a short break to hear a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
The Hive at Lavender Estate, the sweetest place to be in Sumter, South Carolina, just off of North Main. Contact us at lavenderfieldestate@gmail.com or find us at lavenderfieldestate.com.
Graybird Media is your one-stop shop for videography, DJ services, and photo booth. Let us be a part of your next event. Find us on the web at Graybird, that's gray with an E, graybirdmedia.com.
Thanks to our sponsors, The Hive at Lavender Estate and Graybird Media. And now, back to our show.
What do you like to do in your spare time? Like when you have had shoot after shoot after shoot and you're exhausted and you're done with photography and you need to step back and break away from that. What is your downtime like?
Depends on the day. Depends on, like, if I'm really exhausted, I'm watching TV. Probably. That's not particularly
That's fine.
interesting.
I mean, yeah, if that's what makes you happy, absolutely.
Yeah, watch another, like, a side hobby of mine, like personal hobby. I mentioned interior design. I really love interior decorating, so I watch a lot of decorating content on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah. It gives you inspiration, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I love to look at the color palettes and, stuff like that, and use it in whatever way that I can in my work or in my house. I love The Legend of Korra. It's one of my favorite TV shows. It's not being made anymore. It was a Nickelodeon. It was an animated show. What else do I do? Play with my dog, go for walks, talk on the phone. When I was a kid, I was like, why is my mom on the phone all the time?
And now you get it.
I am on the phone, Jen.
I get it.
Time.
We are attached to our phones.
Yeah, like, in a way that I know, like, a lot of people my age are like, never call me. Like, why are you calling me on the phone?
Everybody wants to text.
No, I'm gonna call you. I'm a cold FaceTime you too. In the middle of the day, I'll just FaceTime you. You don't have to answer if you don't want, but, like, if you do, then talk on FaceTime to somebody for a couple hours.
Why that's part of your personality, being a happy person. That's part of it. You want that feel, that feel to go along with somebody.
Yeah.
You don't just want to, like, talk. Just look at a wall and talk. You want to see them. You want to feel that.
Yeah,
that
I'm a very
interaction.
social person.
Yes,
and I need the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when someone comes to you and they say that they want to have a photo shoot, like, how do you know what what vibe to go with? Like, how do you get that inspiration for each individual, either person or pet or whatever that you're working with?
Yeah, I think everything starts with a consultation call. So if you want to book a session with me, unless you like really are very shy and you really don't want to, it's always going to start with a phone call or a Zoom call. So I can immediately get, like you were just saying, I can see your eyes, I can get the feel of, I can see what you're wearing, I can see what your mannerisms are like, and I can get a general sense of like what your vibe is as a person. We talk about where the photos are going to be used, like what the general purpose of them is. So talk about that location, that the Toomey Hospital parking garage. I did some photos of she's a mental health nurse practitioner. Her name's Felicia Hayward here in town. Super cool lady. She's a doctor, a nurse practitioner, but she is very like spunky, big type of personality. And when she reached out to me, she was like, I don't want like that stiff white coat,
she
stethoscope
wanted to
picture.
the person look at her picture and know who she was.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we did some downtown environmental portraits of her in that location, and we've got some studio portraits of her as well in a more casual outfit, still professional, but she doesn't have her like a white coat on or anything. She's just like, it's very casual posing with like her
more comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. So that when you look at the pictures, you can see like, this is somebody that I'm not going to have to be like super prim and proper with as a healthcare provider.
Right.
Or let me see if I can think of a different example. Little girl, it's a child, so I'll protect the child's identity.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But her personality is bonkers. Like she's this wild, like super crazy, goofy little girl. And, I knew, because I know both of her parents, that this was not going to be a sit still and smile type of session.
You prepared yourself.
Exactly, yeah. So the pictures I have of her, she's like shouting and jumping and spinning, and she's got her favorite stuffed animal, and she's laying down with her stuffed animal. And so yeah, I just like to get a general idea of like what somebody's personality is and combine that with how I know the photos will need to be used. And then we can sort of move forward from there. And then in terms of like color palette, because I am doing all the different bright color backdrops, there's also a lot of color theory involved. Like I would not take a picture if you are, of warm skin tone. I'm not going to photograph you on a backdrop that's going to make you look like weird and ashy. So that goes into the planning as well.
That is, so when you think about photography, you think, I know as a professional photographer, you see all these people that run and get these nice expensive cameras, and if they think it automatically makes them a photographer.
Yeah.
What you're talking about, that is the experience.
That's
that is
what
when
makes
you
you the
go
photographer.
get those not that you have a degree in it, but you worked for years to build this knowledge of how to use it to make great photos.
Yeah.
You didn't just go to a local store and grab a camera that has a nice big
Spend
lens.
a couple $1,000 on the camera. Yeah, and that's to say, like, I do have a degree in photography, but you don't have to. Like, I would wager to say most professional photographers don't have a degree in it, but it really is. It's about like putting in the hours, regardless of if you paid for those hours or not. But yeah, I think.
What was the biggest thing you got from school? Like, say someone who does have a degree versus someone who doesn't have a degree in photographer. What do you think was the biggest thing you pulled out of school that you still use today?
Yeah, I think critique is very important, a really, really important part of our education. And thinking critically about the work that you produce, separating the work that you produce from ego, and understanding how it can improve. So having somebody else look at an image that you made and say like, this, and this are wrong, this, and this are right, and taking that information and improving the next time that you shoot, I would say is a really important part of my education. And then secondly, art history, really important part. I think that's the type of and photo history specifically, like knowing your roots, basically knowing where you came from as an artist, and studying that. And I don't particularly know if Joe Schmo, who bought a camera,
knows
is
all
like,
that.
doing research into like, you know, Eugene Auger or Julia Margaret Cameron or any like really, really old photographers.
Right.
And it's cool to do.
Right.
It helps you to get inspired and to, like I said, understand your roots.
Right.
So.
Is there one thing over everything else that inspires you?
I think interpersonal relationships. I think seeing the love that somebody has for their pet, and noticing the differences between the way this dog behaves and the way that dog behaves, and, you know, watching a mom or a dad fix their kid's hair for the picture and like seeing that love there is like, it just makes me all the more excited to make really beautiful artwork for them.
I love that. Yeah. That's fantastic. That's why that's another reason why you are who you are, like why you're going places. Because I think people see that you're not just clicking a camera. Yeah. You truly want it to be a piece of art.
Yeah.
Not just a photo on a sheet of paper.
Yeah, and it's really like, to say sheet of paper specifically, like that's something that I'm really pivoting to in like my business model. Is that like historically throughout my business, I have been very much like a digitals person. Like that's what people are coming to me for. They want digital images and they're not super interested in prints. And every time I'm talking to somebody on the phone now, I'm like, prints. Like, you need prints, because I like, more times than I could count, I'm flipping through albums at my parents' house, and I'm looking at like holding these physical photos. I go to my in-laws' house, and I'm holding their physical photos.
Right.
And
you don't want to lose that tradition.
I don't want to lose that tradition. I really don't. And like flipping and looking at it on a screen it's one thing. It's cool. It's nice to have like you see what time it is on your phone, and you have a really cool background. But to have like a beautiful archival print hanging on your wall to look at like every morning when you wake up, or this really awesome album on your coffee table of, I mean, it doesn't have to be pictures of your dog. You don't need a coffee table book of your dog if you're not that type of person. I'm that type of person, right? But like family photos, lifestyle sessions of your family in a beautiful album, like
memories. Memories.
Absolutely worth it. And I think like being in the wedding industry, I'm sure you totally agree with that.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm just in the process of like, agree with me.
Hugging. Like, yeah. I can see where that would be an issue. I mean, we are all about digital. We're all about our phones and our iPods and our computers, and I see that you need both. And I see the value and the feel of having those prints in hand or on the wall.
That's what we're working towards right now.
I love that. And if you go to your website, do you get that vibe that you're going to be a print person?
It's on the portfolio pages.
Okay.
So if you're looking at my family photography page, you scroll down to the bottom after you look through all of the examples of the work, you'll see a little description of how you can go through the process of ordering prints afterwards. You'll see pictures of framed prints. You'll see albums.
Oh, wow.
Options of albums that you could order, stuff like that. So it's really...
Listeners, you got to get on our web page and
check
out
my website, because I put hours and hours into this thing.
I remember seeing you somewhere, and I can't remember. Maybe it was a social that we were both at. I can't remember. But I remember you saying, I've been working on my website, and it's a lot. And you were drained.
Yeah.
You put like your heart and soul into it.
These shoulders were like...
Yes. So I hope everybody goes and checks it out.
Yeah, I hope so too.
I'm sure they'll learn a lot about you, a lot of about your photography, and a lot about your personality just by looking at those prints.
I think like even if you don't read the text on there, you can see, if you just like unfocus your eyes and look at the overall aesthetic of the website, you will immediately have an understanding for who I am as a person.
Okay.
Like it's got a very strong aesthetic.
I seriously just want to leave right now and go pull it up again.
It matches my
pay
pants
attention.
too. It's one of my branding colors.
Well, you know I love that color, the Hive at Lavender Estate. So you've got my lavender on. I love that. I love that. So Is that your favorite color? What's your favorite color?
Both of my branding colors. So just that bright, like almost mustardy yellow, and then lavender.
Yeah.
Those are my colors.
Okay, that's why we're vibing together.
We get it.
We get it. We get the beauty of it. If there was one person you could photograph in the world, who would it be?
Harry Styles.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
Girl, what?
What? Who is that?
He's one of the biggest names in pop music
Okay.
in the world.
Well,
even.
you can
He's
see.
a very,
I
very
don't
famous
listen.
person.
I'm old, Mia.
Yeah.
You're young. I'm old. I'm the generation above you. So
Check him out.
I'm going
Check out
to
his
now.
music. He is a force to be reckoned with.
I'm gonna
that
have to
man.
listen to some of his tunes.
He's just got a very, very what's the right word? Notorious sense of style.
Okay.
He once in a generation there'll be like a celebrity who becomes the muse for like a specific designer.
Yes.
He is Gucci's muse right now.
Oh,
he wears custom
wow.
Gucci like all the time.
Okay. Harry, if you're listening,
Harry,
Mia,
come through, Harold.
we need that because I would love to see what that
As if
style
he's
shoot look like.
The most famous person in the world.
Okay, that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Shame on me.
You will know.
Okay, I will check him out. I promise.
But if it wasn't the most famous person in the world, I don't know. I would just, honestly, this is very corny.
That's okay.
I like taking pictures of my mom. She does not photograph well, that woman.
So it's a challenge.
It's a challenge.
It's a
yeah.
challenge. You're challenging yourself.
It's a really good challenge too, because
Mom, we love you. We're sorry, but
I see her in a different way than she sees herself. She's my mom, she's like the most beautiful person in the world.
Absolutely.
And she really does not like being photographed. So like any chance I can get her to like allow me to photograph her, I'm like, let's do it.
And what has been the favorite one you've done so far of her?
I did a picture of her. I posted it for Mother's Day last year or the year before, I think.
Okay, well, we will check
so
it
you
out.
can scroll all the way back.
Yeah.
But she's very much like a polka dot type of lady. She's always wearing some sort of pattern, and her favorite color is also purple. So I did a purple backdrop on her, and she had a white and black polka dot shirt on.
Oh, I bet it was beautiful.
She has really, really beautiful like silver salt and pepper hair. So it was like, it's a great picture.
Okay, we're going to go search it. We're
Yeah.
going to find it because that sounds amazing. I'd love to have a picture with a purple background. I have not even thought about that in
Yeah,
my life,
we can
but
make it
that would
happen.
be cool. Very cool. All right, if there was one thing you could tell anybody that was starting a new business like you have, like something that like this is what oh my goodness, I just lost my pillow out the back. That is hilarious.
You laid an
That
egg.
really felt weird. I thought someone was grabbing me. Okay, sorry. Okay. So if there was one thing like from starting this business that you could tell anybody that was starting a business, what would you tell them? This is where you need to start. This is what you need to do.
Ooh. So specifically for photography?
Yes.
Okay. I would formulate a game plan to start with. Decide what that niche is that you want to go for, because generally I think when starting off, and this is what I did, so I'm not saying like...
But it worked, so go for it. So tell us what you did. Go for it. It worked.
At the start, I think people tend to want to just say like, give me any work at all. I will take any work. I will be the broadest photographer that you possibly need me to be. And funny enough, that is not the tactic that will build you up as much as it possibly can. Like niching down is what they call it. And,
Right.
So just saying like, I am a senior portrait photographer. I am a maternity photographer, rather than saying like, I do
Bring it on.
photography. Yeah,
Right.
like, so building a website to start off that markets you as a very specific type of photographer, because people aren't searching, if we're talking search engine optimization, they're not Googling like broadly for photographers.
They're
most
not
of
just
the time.
typing in photography in Sumter.
Yeah,
they're
typing in senior photographer. They're
Right.
typing in real estate photographer.
Right.
So work on your branding so that you have a specific niche.
Right.
And then also build those connections we were talking about, accounting, legal, yada yada. Like that's very important. If you want to be a legitimate business, you need to get those on lock from the start.
Right.
And then you don't have to worry about it later. You don't have to like have a whole
Deal with the issues that had come up.
Exactly.
Have to come up.
Keep track of your expenses, keep track of your revenue so that when you go to talk to that accountant at the end of the tax year, you're not like,
You don't come with that little bag of
Exactly.
receipts. Like,
You come
I'm
with-
here.
yeah, you like I when I went to go see my accountant and I had like the most detailed spreadsheet, she was like, "Who are you and where have you been all my life?"
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm a spreadsheet queen. Anything, I'm a spreadsheet lady."
Okay, so we know where to go to be taught to do the good spreadsheets. I
Yeah.
love it.
So that, and then I would say most importantly is to understand your worth as an artist. It's in the same vein as just trying to accept any work that you could possibly get at the start of a
Right.
business. I think people are like willing to do work for like pennies, regardless of how good they are as an artist. But there's also that fine line of understanding like what your worth is. Like if you just picked up a camera, you don't need to be charging $500 for a session.
Right.
But if you have the work to back up a certain price point, charge that price point. You know, like it's a business. Like you need to be profitable
Right.
at the end of the day. So run your costs of doing business, have an understanding of like how much it costs for your rental
Equipment
space, your
and-
equipment, all of these. I don't want to get into all the big like depreciation and blah, 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 because no, that's too much right now. But
That's
like,
for another day.
That's for another day. But like just have a, like, even if it's a loose, just a broad understanding of how much it costs you to operate as a business, divide that out by the number of days that you want to shoot, and then figure out how much you need to charge minimum in order to make money as an artist.
As an artist.
And that's, I would say, the absolute most important thing. That's something that like it took me way too long to do.
To understand.
Yeah.
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 Well, when you have the best of Sumter, you can do it.
Yeah, exactly. When you are advertised as the best, then you got to pay for the best.
That's right. I'm gonna have to think about that because we got the wedding venue
Y'all are
best
the
of
best.
Sumter. So look at all of us besties up here.
There
That's
you go.
great. I love it. Mia, thank you so much for being with us
Yay,
today. We
thank
have
you for
learned
having
so
me.
much about you, about business, the photography world. So I want all my listeners to go out there, check out Mia Lee Photography, and we will make sure that we have all her information below for you to click on and check out, and hopefully
Hire.
Yes, but we hope everybody will go, and we need that 1600th person
Yeah.
to click on Instagram,
It'll be
okay?
a very satisfying moment.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Mia, so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it for you guys listening. And we'll see you next time on Business Gold, a business leader's journey.
That's it for this episode of Business Gold. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure that you tune in again. We release new episodes every Tuesday, so definitely come back. And while you're here watching on YouTube, make sure you click that like and subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate it.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and reach out to us at podcast.businessgold@gmail.com. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.